Welcome, everybody, to historic Holman Stadium for playoff baseball. It'll be Bishop Guertin hosting the Windham Jaguars as the two teams take their place at the baselines on their respective sides of the field. This is a first-round game, one of 7 games being played simultaneously here on a sun-drenched Wednesday, June 3rd of 2026. Lots of exciting baseball action going on basically all over New Hampshire today as we pause for the national anthem. And we're ready for some baseball again here at Holman Stadium. NHIAA TV covering the morning Education Day game between the Nashua Silver Knights and the New Britain Bees in front of a packed house of school kids from all over Greater Nashua and beyond. It was a great day, great morning for baseball, and we were thrilled to bring it to you. Not so thrilled that the Silver Knights only got about 5 hits and only 1 run in the first inning, and that was it as they got blanked the rest of the way, and New Britain hung on to win 2-1. It was a well-pitched game, but lots of strikeouts, not a lot of contact. Perhaps this high school baseball playoff game, the single elimination, playing for your playoff lives, will produce more offense. And then again, it may not, because of the young man on the hill for Bishop Guertin, a very talented pitcher, who reminds me of Major Leaguer Bartolo Colon, very solidly built right-hander who seemingly can go the distance every time he toes the rubber. Geiger's put on some great performances this season. He seems to especially like the Holman Stadium mound. He's very tough to make solid contact against and to score against. The Windham Jaguars have been shut out twice this season. They're hoping not to be shut out by Ben Geiger today as BG comes in as the 5 seed against the number 12 seed Jaguars, who finished the season with a record of 9-9. BG finished at 14 wins and 5 losses. They've had a really good season, just barely losing to some of the top teams in the state, including Trinity, who went 18-1 and got the first seed bye. They are waiting to play on Saturday in the quarterfinals as they get a bye in this first round. There's 7 games going on in the first round of the New Hampshire Division I baseball tournament, starting with this one at 4 o'clock. And then Nashua South, our friends, Purple Panthers, doing battle at Londonderry. South got into the tournament as the 11 seed at Londonderry, who are the 6th seed, I believe. Bedford is hosting Spalding. Concord is at Exeter. Pinkerton is hosting the 15 seed Portsmouth. Pinkerton was the number 2 seed. They were behind Trinity, so they're playing the lowest seeded team in Portsmouth. Timberlane, 13 seed against Dover. That's at 4:30. A few games are at 4:30. Most of them are at 4 o'clock, including the South Londonderry game. And the winner of Timberlane-Dover will play the winner of this game. So that has implications for Saturday for either Windham or for Bishop Guertin. Windham knows that they won't be hosting, actually they will be hosting the game only if Timberlane comes up with the upset at Dover. And the other game, Goffstown hosting Winnicott. The winner of that game has to go up against Trinity at 10 a.m. on Saturday up at Gill Stadium in Manchester, as Trinity will be rested and ready for that. First pitch, bunt down the third base line, and there'll be no play. It's a bunt hit for Alex Blanco. The center fielder definitely decided to do that ahead of time, and he got a great pitch to bunt on the third base grass and kind of caught Caden Sirocco by surprise. He had a long way to run to get that, and no play at first base by the time he got to it. So really well done by Blanco to get on base. We're talking about how difficult it is to score against Geiger, and quickly Windham off to the races here on the bases as they get runners on first and second. A solidly struck single to the opposite field by Drew Martinchick, the right fielder for Windham. 2 straight hits on 2 straight pitches. Jumping on Geiger here in the first inning as he was pitching to the strike zone and turns out pitching to contact, a bunt and a line drive single. And the 3-hitter, Joe Coviello, in a great spot, nobody out. Catcher for the Jaguars, batting in the 3rd spot in the order. The chance to drive in some runs. You don't usually see the 3-hitter bunt. Don't expect it. The pitch, he's bunting. Bunts at third base side. It's a great bunt. It's going to be another put it in your pocket for Caden Sirocco. 2 bunt hits in the first inning. One by the leadoff batter, one by the 3-hitter. And I got to say, Caden, I'm with you. I am shocked the third batter in the order, usually one of your heaviest hitters, lays down the sacrifice bunt that turns into a bunt hit. And it's looking like a brilliant start to this game. A consciously designed start to the game by Windham with a couple of bunt hits around a line drive single and a maximum pressure early on Ben Geiger as the cleanup hitter. Also first pitch swinging up the middle, could be 2, stepping on the back, throw to first in time. Good play, Gavin Santos. He gets 2 on that, but Windham strikes first as Blanco scores from third. It's not considered an RBI, but it does get a run in for Eddie Charity, who hit that ground ball up the middle. We've had 4 pitches in this game and 4 balls put in play. Something you do not see every day in a baseball game. Let's see if we go 5 for 5. And he swung over the top of that, did Ben Urquhart, big first baseman for the Windham Jaguars. He tried to make it 5 swings and contact in a row. A couple of bunts, of course, mixed in. The 0-1 pitch. That's going to find grass in left center and plates another run. The Jaguars with a fantastic start here as Ben Urquhart, serving it out into left, did exactly what he needed to do to get that runner home from third with 2 out. Sacrifice fly wouldn't do it. He needed a base hit, and that's exactly what he got. So it's 2-0 as Drew Martinchick scored. First pitch ball from Ben Geiger to Aiden Thirol, to his DHing for the pitcher Josh Martino. So the DH for Windham gets up in the 6th spot in the order. Windham doing damage early against the BG Ace. Geiger's got to be a little bit rattled here, but he throws that one by Aiden Thirol. That'll get you back on track. Get a good idea of just how tall Ben Urquhart is, the first baseman for Windham, who is going to get a glove. He's pretty much a foot taller than the first baseman, Nick Weiner, for BG, but it's a great target. I got to say, in high school, I had 2 6'5" first basemen, and you just couldn't throw it past them. Number one was his name was Ken Wall, Boston Park League legend, who played like 20 years in the Park League, and they put him in the Hall of Fame. And the other guy was Kevin Harlan, who went on to be the starting quarterback for 4 years at Middlebury College, who followed up Tim Wall, and they were both 6'5" first basemen, and they were You just, like I say, as long as you threw it in the general area code, the batter was going to be out. So Windham off to an ideal start. The number 12 seed looking for the upset here at 9-9. These two teams did play once this season back on May 9th, and it was a BG victory, 6-1 over Windham. So they are somewhat familiar with each other. The manager, head coach for Bishop Guertin is Scott Painter, and the head coach for Windham is Spencer Bergeron. I went down to get the lineups in the respective dugouts before the game, and I ran into an old friend, Dave Brown, assistant coach for the Windham Jaguars and a longtime teammate of mine in the Senior Baseball League, the Granite State League with the Seacoast Braves. It was great to see him in the dugout. He's a really, really nice guy, and not only well-versed in baseball, but also in the arts. He loves Broadway, and always telling me about his adventures with his daughter, and just a well-rounded individual, Dave Brown. Great to see him, and helped me get the lineups before the game. So Bishop Guertin's got their work cut out for them. They got maybe their best hitter at the plate right now, Liam Ireland, a terrific baseball player, center fielder for BG, and he gets out of the way of that fastball just off the plate inside. Ball one. We get a first look at Josh Martino, who appears to be a hard-throwing right-hander for the Jaguars. Going from the set, even with nobody on base. And Liam Ireland rocked that so hard that Jason Sulo only waved at it as it went by. It was about a 90 to 100 mile an hour ripper from Ireland, and we're going to call that a base hit. Can't really assume that you had to make a play. It wasn't directly at Sulo at shortstop. Pretty close, but talk about too hot to handle. It is actually a warm to hot day today in the sun as the summer makes its appearance here at historic Holman Stadium for the morning game. The Silver Knights completed their game between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., and the grounds crew here did a fantastic job to get ready for the high school playoff game with this 4 o'clock start in the afternoon. The sun has just been blazing all day, a cloudless Wednesday, just ideal weather for baseball, maybe too ideal. Sunscreen has to come out after the 9th rainiest May on record. That's according to WMUR's Mike Haddad. I saw him talking about the wrapping up the stats on the month of May in the telecast, the newscast yesterday, and he mentioned that the wettest May ever, you may remember the Mother's Day flood year of 2006, 11 inches of rain, so just about double of what we just got in May, and it flooded the Merrimack River on top of everything. So Liam Ireland at first base, and Nick Weiner working the count, 3-1 to the two-hitter in the lineup. Goes the opposite way. A slicing line drive is going to get down for a hit. Ireland, who's got great speed, has to stop at second because the play took Eddie Charity, the left fielder, right over to the line and close to third base on a line. It would have been impossible for Ireland to get to third without gambling. Didn't have to, though. Nobody out. And the same situation for BG that Windham had. First and second, first two batters reach on base hits. No bunt hit, but two base hits. And here's Gavin Santos, shortstop. Great hitter also for Bishop Guertin, right-handed batter facing the right-hander Josh Martino. And early trouble for the Windham starter, as it was for Ben Geiger. That one misses outside, and Santos seemed to see it well all the way. 1 ball and no strikes. 7-inning game scheduled. My partner, usual partner, Tom King, covering tennis finals in Dover today, was forced to miss this one. But hopefully we can do another game down the road. That's going to be the opposite way, but well out of play beyond the admin building here at Holman Stadium. John Collins along with Michaela Savageau on the main camera here at home plate, and Dylan Smith running the controls. Audio, video to my right, and Dan Young, the executive producer today, back in the NHIAA TV studios as we have our mound visit between Joe Coviello and Josh Martino. Talking things over. The Windham Jaguars in their visiting dark navy uniforms. Gold numerals, white pants, and of course BG in their home whites. And working the count into his favor, Gavin Santos. 2 balls and 1 strike. BG looking to capitalize and maybe stay out of the double play that Windham hit into to abbreviate their bases loaded and no out rally. That was a good spoil with 2 strikes by, actually that was the second strike on Santos. Might have been low, but he was looking fastball, got fastball, just couldn't square it up as the foul went pretty quick into that net near the on-deck hitter, Tyler Parks. Don't want to get hit, knocked out of the game that way. Curveball, right side, bounder, tough play. The flip, they'll get one in the middle. Nicely done by Wyndham's second baseman, Mason Ridlin. Ridlin to his right, had to go quite a ways to get that, and he got a kind of clean hop. So Santos, fielder's choice. Weiner is out at second. And here comes the cleanup hitter, Tyler Parks, second baseman, looking down at his coach for any particular sign. We saw the Silver Knights steal their only run of the game this morning. It was a 1st and 3rd situation with 1 out. Correction, 2 out. The runner got into a rundown, and now throw to second base. Sliding in safely is Santos. Delayed steal, just about, but it was also a bobbled pitch at the plate. Made it easy for Santos to get into second. Call it a stolen base. Second and third, 2 runners in scoring position. 1 swing of the bat could tie up this first round playoff game. Tyler Parks awaiting the 1-0 pitch. Ground ball right side will get 1 run home, and it's going to eat up the second baseman. The overspin on that was tremendous on the hard baked infield, and it kind of ate up Mason Ridlin as he backed up on it trying to get a better hop. Never did. So got to call an error on that. It's a tough error, but I believe that's the right scoring call. Meanwhile, BG plates their first run of the game as Liam Ireland scurries home on the front end of that. And Gavin Santos goes to third base. Still only 1 out. Runners at the corners again. That misses down to Ben Geiger, the pitcher for Bishop Guertin, batting for the first time in this game. BG, of course, by the seedings, they are the favorite. But no sport, I think, in the NHIAA has more upsets in the playoffs than baseball. You will see sometimes a double-digit seed make a run as far as into the final if they get hot. It is possible in single elimination format. Josh Martino comes to stretch, and it's fouled back as he's just rearing back and firing, trying to get one past Geiger. Now with 2 strikes on him, 1 and 2. See if BG might start Parks at first base. They're just letting Geiger go to work here. Behind in the count, though. Right side, foul. That skips across the roof of the admin building. Good battle going on here between Josh Martino and Ben Geiger. Pitcher versus pitcher in the box. Forced to throw a few extras here on these foul balls. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball stays up. Good take by Geiger. Evens the count at 2 and 2. The brand of baseball, I believe it's Adidas, that it's an A1010 that they use. And it's lively. It's like a pellet. Great job of coming out of his crouch to snag that one by Joe Coviello. As Santos would have loved to scurry down the line and tie this game up. The count's gone full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Better chance than not that Scott Painter starts the runner at first base, I think, on this. With one out, runner could get into a rundown. Worst case scenario. That's ball 4, bases loaded. Geiger takes a walk. And here comes Caden Sirocco with the bases jammed. BG still down 2-1, but great opportunity to tie it up and or take the lead as Caden Sirocco bats for the first time in this game. We hope to get you updates on the South at Londonderry baseball game that started at the exact same time as the Panthers try to stay alive in that bracket. Pitch up high again. A little bit of an overthrow, and that's going to draw a mound visit from Spencer Bergeron, a really talented pitcher in his day. I forget what school. Dave told me what school Spencer Bergeron pitched at. UMass. Graduated from UMass in 2020 after playing 4 years for the Minutemen. He pitched for Nashua North locally. And we have a lot of his games someplace on YouTube. Nashua TV archives. Right from this mound, he shined. So, new head coach of the Windham Jaguars. His pitchers in the jam, though, is a quick conversation. 1-0, and I guess Josh Martino knows what he needs to do. And get maybe a strikeout here, maybe a tailor-made double play ball as the middle infielders for Windham move back. Sulo at short and Ridlin at second, hoping for a double play to get out of the inning. Pitch. Foul straight back to the screen. A mighty hack there by Caden Sirocco, but comes up empty. It's 1-2. Geiger drawing the only walk of the games at first base. Tyler Parks, who reached on an error by the second baseman, is at second. And Santos reached on a fielder's choice at third. That's a good take. Ball curved off the plate. And another nice stop by Coviello. So we'll do the 2-2 now. Some high drama early in this elimination game. The first inning, fouled off to the right. And we'll need a new A10-10. Martino reloading. He prefers to pitch from the stretch. We saw with nobody on base he was doing this. No windup from him. BG runners lead off their bases. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Caden Sirocco spins the bat and gets ready. High pitch, 3-2. Count's gone full again to a BG hitter as Martino, as lively an arm as he has been forced to use it a little bit much here in this first inning. A lot of pitches being thrown and still only the 1 out. Caden Sirocco awaiting the 3-2 payoff pitch. Swung on and missed over the top of it, strike 3. And will he say, yes, not a strikeout. Got a tip on it, hit the dirt. The umpire agreed. He heard a ping, I guess, is what you hear. Not a wooden tick, but a ping with aluminum bat. It hit the dirt, and another pitch coming for Caden Sirocco, who stays alive in the at-bat. 3 balls and 2 strikes will do it again. Only 1 out, so the runners are not in motion on the pitch. Swung on and missed as Josh Martino reared back and threw it a little bit harder. That was his highest velocity pitch of the game, I would say. And he gets Sirocco swinging. So now it's Cam Flanders, the right fielder for Bishop Guertin, He's the number 7 hitter in the order. So BG's got a lot of people that come to the plate, but they don't want to leave the bases full and get just the one run to show for a very promising would-be rally here in the bottom of the first. A key at bat, pressure on Cam Flanders, the right fielder, to come through in this spot. Green team, green bat. Trying to put bat on ball in the 1-0-1 pitch, and he fouls it straight back. It's 0-2. When in doubt, just air it out. Seems to be the approach by Josh Martino, who has just upped the velocity and taken some of these hitters up the ladder in the process. He's one pitch away from wriggling out of a huge jam, and he overthrew that one a little bit much. And again, quick as a cat back there is Coviello to snag these pitches. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's see if he stays in the zone with this. Just high. Not by much, but it was above the zone. And I don't think Cam Flanders could have caught up to that if he had swung at it, as near shoulder level as it was. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases jammed. Windham clinging to a 2-1 lead. The pitch is outside. We've got strike 3. Excuse me, I thought it was in the right-handed batter's box, but no, it is strike 3 called, and that will take us to the second inning. Great pitching by Josh Martino to wriggle out of the jam as he gets Cam Flanders looking. Umpire had a good long think about it, and then he did the step-back punch-out thing, but I really thought it missed by 1.5 inches outside, let's say. On the ABS challenge would have had that maybe 1.5 inches outside. And that's one of those instances where, as a batter, I used to turn around to the ump and say, he doesn't really need the help. Josh Martino with that great pitching arm there. I'd love to know what his velocity is, because he's pretty up there, especially for high school. Ben Geiger comes back to the hill. And a 2-1 game. A lot of foot traffic on the bases for the Cardinals. Just that 1 run to show for it. So Windham's already matched their run total, or overmatched their run total from the 6-1 loss back on May 9, a month ago. They are with 2 runs on the board in the first inning, and trying to pick up where they left off here in the second. Remarkable start to the game for the Jaguars as they had the first 3 batters reach on 3 pitches. Bunt single, line drive, base hit to left, and bunt single. And it ended up producing 2 runs with those players at the top of the order, Alex Blanco and Drew Martinshik, scoring the 2 runs. So now we go to Jason Sulo, the shortstop for the Jaguars, batting against Ben Geiger. And the pitch swung on and missed on the high heater. It'll be Sulo Doster, Jaden Doster, and Mason Ridland, the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up. And Geiger, you can see the difference between the way he starts his windup and Josh Martino, who's just standing in profile like as if he has a man on first base already. Prefers that, and Geiger prefers the rocking chair. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Quick work of the leadoff batter here in the second inning of strikeout for Ben Geiger. Jaden Doster, third baseman for the Jaguars, getting his first at bat against Ben Geiger in this game as the shadows just begin to creep out a little bit in this 4 o'clock start toward home plate. They'll probably be at the mound or close to it by the time this one ends. The press box shadow as the sun works its way over to behind third base. See Bishop Guertin's defense straight away at all positions for Jaden Doster. And not all that deep in left and right at center field. Thought about it, taking a hack at that slow curve, but it missed well off the plate inside. That would have tied him up, if not hit him, if he'd taken a hack at it. The 1-1. That's a strike right over the outside edge at the waist. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Geiger looking tough on these bottom of the order hitters. Got an emergency hack. Is it fair or foul? It's going to be a foul ball and a long run for Nick Weiner, not quite able to get there. Yeah, I remember the Orioles' first baseman, his name is Mayo, and that exact play right there, same thing happened. There was a soft line drive over Mayo's head, and I said there's a little bit too much mustard on that foul ball, and Mayo couldn't quite catch up. It just all worked out. Foul ball to the right side on the dugout. I just did that in my head, Dylan. I wasn't actually doing a major league game, right? Major league game, that's for other people living the dream. That could have made me, though. That would have went viral. Good battle here. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jaden Doster. And a front door curve, and he spoiled it. That was digging its way back toward the inside corner from Geiger. It's an effective pitch in freezing the right-handed batter who's got a guard against the fastball. The 1-2. Fastball, and again, emergency hack. This might be playable. Yes! Good catch, and a tough spot by Nick Weiner as the fence was coming up on him fast, but he was able to snag it and put the brakes on. So that is the second out of the inning. A strikeout and a foul pop, and here's Mason Ridlon, the second baseman. Open stance from the right side. The 9-hitter in the order. Pitch. Big swing and a miss. The 1 and 3 hitters in the Windham order came up with bunt hits. None of these other hitters have even bluffed at bunting. The pitch. And he chased high there, and Geiger has him quickly down in the count, 0-2. Mason Ridlon. Windham, number 12 seed, trying to come up with the upset against Bishop Guertin. Finished the season with a great record, 14-5. The pitch from Geiger, and that's going to miss up and out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. One thing he certainly does not want to do is walk the number 9 hitter with 2 outs. Bright red bat that Ridlon has. Fouls it straight back to the screen. I think it's red. Maybe in the Crayola box, it's probably something slightly off red, like Cheyenne or something like that, or what's that other word? He almost ducked into that, and he said he did. That's going to be an argument. Now, Scott Painter's going to come out and say, hey, that could have been in the strike zone. And I can see the body language over there. He's just, or the coaching staff for BG is like, really? He was really close to the strike zone with that ducking movement. But as the 9 hitter, that's job well done, getting on base with 2 out and getting the top of the order up there. Here is Alex Blanco, and if you look at the third baseman, Caden Sirocco for Bishop Guertin, he's creeping in on the grass. He doesn't want any more of this bunt hit action. And swinging at the first pitch ahead of the breaking ball was Alex Blanco, who scored the first run of the game after reaching on that leadoff bunt hit, the very first pitch of the game, catching BG's defense by surprise. The 0-1 pitch, there goes the runner, swings through it, throw to second base, and the slap tag, safe. They say he slid around the tag from Gavin Santos. That was another play where you would love to see a replay from up close if we were spoiled enough to get that kind of thing. It's a great look that we had, but I guess the ump saw that there was space between the base runners sliding and the tag. The swipe tag by Santos did a good job of trying to sell it, but into scoring position with 2 out is that 9-hitter Ridlin that reached on a ball that grazed his helmet. Swinging through that, strike 3 into the mitt. Blanco is out and bearing down and getting the strikeout with a runner in scoring position, Ben Geiger. So tough to usually to score on. Those 2 bunt hits were huge in that first inning. And I think maybe Scott Painter's talking to the home plate umpire about, hey, you know, if a guy ducks his head into the strike zone, it's not automatically it shouldn't automatically be a hit by pitch, but that's what we got. And maybe it's just trying to set it up in case that same thing happens again later in the game. 7 first-round games going on in New Hampshire Division I baseball. Glad to bring you this game on Nashua ETV. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we have, is it girls or boys lacrosse? Dylan, remind me, tomorrow, and we're going to do it. It's going to be beamed into us from Exeter, right? And so I believe it's girls lacrosse, right? Yeah, we'll look it up. The Bishop Guertin girls lacrosse team is playing at Souhegan tomorrow. We did the game between those 2 teams at Stellos, and it was a fantastic lacrosse game that we had on Nashua TV. 8-7. Souhegan, I think, came from behind to win that game and retain the higher seeding. So that's why they're hosting the game tomorrow, and BG has to travel to them. Not too far. That's down 101A girls. And it's South and Exeter will have the game for you at 5 p.m. from Bill Ball Stadium. The Exeter Blue Hawk media will cover the game, and they'll send us the feed. So it'll be great action from Exeter as South goes for the upset on the road in the first round. That pitch is at the bottom of the zone, strike 1. End of the third, score from Londonderry. The Lancers lead the Panthers of Nashua South 3-0. Thank you very much for the update. So jumping out to an early lead, the Lancers, and a solid single to center for Bishop Guertin's Nate Bowen. His brother Jake now coming up to the plate. Nate's the designated hitter today. Designated hitting for the catcher, Zach Jones. Bowen comes through with a solid single to center field to lead off the second inning. He represents the potential game-tying run. Bunting that off of his body while he was in the box. Jake Bowen will come back to the plate. It was just a strike. Fortunately for him, he was still in the box when the ball bounced up and hit him. The umpire was on top of it. Dead ball. We saw 3 umpires for that Silver Knights regular season game this morning. A lot of pressure on these 2 umpires in a single elimination playoff game to keep track of everything that's going on. Just the 2 of them. That is the crew, at least for the first round games. See if that changes when there are only 8 teams remaining on Saturday. They might beef up the crew to 3 apiece. modest lead over at first base, and the bunt attempt goes right through. Somehow makes no contact with the bat or the body of Jake Bowen. That looked like it was going to hit him after he did not make contact with the bunt attempt. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. One bunt bounced and hit him, and the other one he whiffed on it. Don't see that too often. The 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's a strike 3 called over the outside corner. Josh Martino pitched the 9-hitter brilliantly right there. Made it tough for him to bunt it, and then just blew him away with the fastball on the outer edge. Back to the top of the order we go. And it's Liam Ireland who singled and scored. I'm sure that's happened about 50 times this season for this young man, a terrific baseball player and an offensive threat every time he steps up there. Looks at a good breaking ball, sharp breaker on the outside corner from Martino, and it's 0-1. Ireland with the great speed, a good eye at the plate, and some pretty good pop in the bat. I believe we saw hit a triple in his last game here. Bunts at it right back toward the pitcher, and the catcher overran it a little bit, and with Liam Ireland's speed, he beats it out. Throw to third base, and they're on the corners. Going all the way over to third was Nate Bowen on the bunt hit by Liam Ireland. He's 2 for 2. He committed to the bunt late, and even though it wasn't a great bunt, it was right in front of the plate in the dirt area, it did catch the Jaguars by surprise enough that Joe Coviello, the catcher, got kind of a late break out of his catcher's crouch, and he actually overran the ball a half a step, and that was the difference in he couldn't get Ireland at first base even with a good throw. So it's a bunt hit, and there's only one out. Runner at third represents the potential tying run. 2-hitter Nick Weiner singled his first time up, and he looks at ball 1. Another jam created by the BG offense for Josh Martino to try to get out of. Hard hit right side and through for a base hit. Tie game 2-2. Ireland's going to stop at second. Dive back in there as the right fielder was playing pretty shallow, Drew Martinchik. But even with the dive, Mason Ridlin could not get to that ball. As a second baseman, you kind of cheat towards second a little bit before that. Those pitches are thrown to the left-handed batter. Even though you know it's possible he might pull it in the hole, you got to commit to playing up the middle more so you can get to the base in case it's hit to the left side for a double play. But finding that hole between first and second, Nick Weiner is 2 for 2. Top of the order getting it done so far for the Cardinals. The 1-2 hitters are 4 for 4. And here's Gavin Santos, who reached on a fielder's choice to the right side his first time up. 2-2 game. Pitch. That's high. As Santos bends back out of the way of it. Another situation where you get a 3-hitter, 1 out, men on first and second, just looks down to the third base coach out of habit. I don't think they have a home run sign, but I'm sure the coach is thinking that would be nice. A big, mighty cut by Santos. He's a little bit late, though. And fouls it off to the right. 1 ball, 1 strike. It was heat, and it was right down the middle. So not quite able to square it up. BG shortstop. Got a pretty good crouch going there on the right side. Certainly comes out of it when he swings big. And just off the plate inside. Certainly the Windham fans wanted that call. That looked closer to the dish than the strike 3 call we saw in BG earlier in the game to end the first inning on Cam Flanders. Just a guesstimate, observation from up here. Curveball stays up. 3 balls in 1 strike. Santos in the driver's seat right here. He'd love to make a big noise on another one of those Martino fastballs. Not easy to do. He can really pump it up in these pressure situations. He might even overthrow it a little bit, but he's going to make Santos catch up. And he almost did, but again, fouls it off to the right a little bit late. I heard I think it was a physicist talking about how top velocity versus on baseball as a hitter, it's on the, I think he said like the edge of human performance. It's really a challenge to read and react in that little bit of time to decide, is it a ball or is it a strike? Should I swing or should I not? And then to still catch up to it and make contact in an effective way. It's so difficult. A lot of times we just come close but fail, and that's what you see with a lot of these foul balls. 3-2, but as more you see, usually the better you get about catching up. Curveball, and a good job by Santos to keep that front shoulder in and spoil it. That might have made its way to the top of the zone. Curveball looked like it was starting out off the plate inside, and it broke right back over the middle. And Martino might even have got that call. He's got a pretty good break on that ball, that at least 4 or 5 inches of break on it. And he gets the chase. First base is occupied, so he cannot advance. The runners do, though. There was no contact on the pitch, so the runners are allowed to move up. Catcher's kind of talking about whether it was, if he's saying it was a foul tip, then the at-bat would stay alive. I don't know what the discussion is. Joe Coviello trying to clear something up with the umpire. Maybe thought that he was being interfered with a little bit to pick the ball up in time. That could have been it. On the follow-through of the strikeout, Santos kind of stepped in front of the catcher a little bit, and maybe that's what the discussion was about, that if he was going to pick the ball up and make a play on the runner at second base, he was maybe impeded. 2 out, 2 runners in scoring position, and swinging over the first pitch is Tyler Parks. That was a clutch strikeout for Josh Martino of the dangerous Gavin Santos, BG's 3-hitter. If there's such a thing, it was a productive strikeout, though, as it's put 2 runners in scoring position. Grounded high to the left side. It's going to be a really difficult play. 2 runs are going to score. The hard-packed infield here with that overspin has produced runs for Bishop Guertin on overspin grounders that were just too hot to handle for the middle infielders, turning into a 2 RBI base hit for Tyler Parks. It is a big hit. Nothing fancy or driven deep. It's just the right swing for the right moment. And kind of hard luck there for Josh Martino, the Windham starter. Did induce kind of a mishit there, but enough of a piece by Parks to give his team the lead by 2 runs, 4-2 with 2 outs. Inning continues for Ben Geiger. And throwing it by him was Josh Martino. Right over the outer edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. Maybe a little bit of frustration on that fastball from Martino that time. Channeling it into the pitches here. Really popping the mitt. Josh Martino trying to leave Parks right at first base. 3 runs in the inning for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals, starting with the leadoff bunt single by Nate Bowen. No, excuse me, that he got a base hit. Regular pitch. Line drive single to center, Nate Bowen got, and then it was Liam Ireland with the bunt hit, and followed by a base hit by Nick Weiner. So to right field. He got an RBI in that. That misses. And the count's gone full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And it'd be very surprising if Martino throws a curveball or an off-speed pitch here, as well as he's done at throwing the ball past his counterpart. It was the heat, but it was up, and Geiger takes it for ball 4. So the only drawback there for Bishop Guertin is that starting pitcher gets to bake in the sun a little bit out on the bases. Or can you re-enter? Are they going to put somebody in for him? No. He's going to run for himself. 2 out, and still 2 runners on for Bishop Guertin, trying to add to their 4-2 lead over the Jaguars. First pitch swing, foul tips it into the mitt. Caden Sirocco struck out his first time up. Martino has 3 strikeouts. And that's thrown by Caden Sirocco, 0-2. You got to be a good fastball hitter to do damage against this young man. He really brings it. But BG with 4 runs on the board. That's low as Coviello tried to steal a strike. Took a step and a half toward the dugout, but couldn't sell that call. 1-2. As Caden Sirocco took it low. Pitch. Fouled off to the right. Tyler Parks, big hit, 2 outs. Ground ball, hard hit to the left side and just ate up the shortstop and on into left field. Both of the runners going on contact with 2 outs, scoring easily to open up a lead for the Cardinals. First one in this game. Single elimination. They are vying to play again on Saturday against the winner of Dover and Timberlane. The only way BG will host that game here on Saturday is if Timberlane comes up with the upset there on the Seacoast. Strike 3 call. Front door curve gets him. Martino continues to show flashes of brilliance, but BG finding ways to score via the ground ball route that time. Kind of see the frustration, the body language from Martino. You know, thought he felt like he pitched well enough not to give up any runs in that inning, but he's down. The team's down 4-2 as we move along. We'll take a break here at NHIAA TV. You're watching live from Holman if you're with us on a Wednesday, June 3rd of 2026. Playoff baseball.
This broadcast is made possible by local Comcast television subscribers. Thank you for your support. But did you know that in addition to watching us on Channel 22, you can stream Nashua ETV on the go? Just download the Nashua Community Media TV app on your smartphone or tablet to catch the best of Nashua ETV wherever you are. But from wherever you're watching, we'd like to thank you for watching Nashua ETV.
Welcome back to Holman Stadium as we move along in this first round playoff game, 2026. 7 games going on right now all over the state of New Hampshire in Division I. BG hosting the Windham Jaguars, the 5-seed BG against the 12-seed Windham. 2 teams did play on May 9. It was a 6-1 BG win. They are up 4-2 in the 3rd inning. A lot of traffic on the bases in this one, even against 2 ace pitchers. At last check in the 3rd inning in Londonderry, the South Panthers were trailing 3-0 to Londonderry in their single elimination game. We'll try to get another update. And a strikeout recorded by Ben Geiger as he made quick work of the 2-hitter, Drew Martinchick, leading off the 3rd inning. So he struck out Blanco to end the 2nd, now strikes out the 2-hitter, Martinchick, to begin the 3rd. And here's Coviello, the Windham catcher. First pitch swinging. Came nowhere close to that curveball on the first pitch. I think he was sitting fastball the whole way and was way out ahead. See, he goes back to that curve again. Oh, he threw the heck out of that pitch, but somehow it missed high, probably, to Coviello. 1 for 1 with a bunt hit. 3-hitter in the order, and he contributed to that rally they had in the first inning to plate their 2 runs. And again, swings and misses at the breaking ball where he's way out ahead. Changing speeds, Ben Geiger took even more off of that pitch and getting a little piece of the ball and the catcher with that swing was Coviello. Not quite sure where it hit Zach Jones, but that smarted a little bit. The 1-2 pitch on the way. And waving at it. Geiger went slower and slowest there to get the strikeout of Coviello. And the 2 and 3 hitters going down, swinging to open the 3rd inning. 2 out, no on, and here's Eddie Charity, left fielder for the Windham Jaguars, who hit into a 6-4-3 double play. First time up, hammers that deep left, long run over the head of Jake Bowen. It's going to be extra bases for Eddie Charity. Stops at second base. Jumped all over that first pitch from Geiger. That might have been one of those slow curveballs, and he timed it. He was not out ahead of it and hit it a long way. Looked like Jake Bowen read it really well and got a good jump, but it was just too well hit. And in scoring position, but with 2 out, Charity for Ben Urquhart. Big first baseman for Windham is 1 for 1 with a hit. His first time up. Trying to narrow the deficit to 1. Takes a strike over the outside edge. Urquhart is somewhere in the neighborhood of 6'4", 6'5", I believe. Saw him up against the some of his opponents over there at first. Late on that fastball, though, and he's down on the count 0-2. It's always the challenge for these big guys to be on time. Aaron Judge certainly has worked at it almost to perfection. One and two. And there was a guy, maybe one of the biggest, lankiest, strongest hitters ever in MLB, Dave Parker, and Dave Winfield also, who were able to hit fastballs even with those long arms. But Ben Urquhart came up empty against Geiger, who seems to be getting stronger as the game goes along. And he is nursing a 4-2 lead for the 5 seed. Number 2 seed today, Pinkerton, hosting 15 Portsmouth. That started at 4 o'clock in Derry. Other 4 o'clock games. Number 10 seed Concord at Exeter. That's Exeter's seeding. They are 7th. The 8 and 9 seeds, that's always a coin toss kind of game in lacrosse and baseball. And it was Goffstown hosting Winnicott in a 4:30 start, so they're a half hour behind us. The reason that game is important, or has implications, is the winner of that has to go to Gill Stadium in Manchester bright and early Saturday morning. So if you're, say, Winnicott, let's use, you come up with the upset, the 9 seed at Goffstown, you have to get to Gill Stadium probably by 9 a.m. from Hampton. So it's got to at least leave an hour and a half maybe for that ride. So you got to leave at, let's say, 7:30 a.m., which means you got to get up around 6:30. But I guess you do anyway for school all the time. So not as big a problem for them as it would be for me. Gill Stadium, great place to play though, with the press box and the turf. Oh, I like the turf. Kind of like mathematically true hops. No hidden surprises and potholes. The 1-0 pitch, and getting a piece of that one and a piece of the catcher. So Windham batter did that to the BG catcher, Zach Jones. Of course, that was not on purpose, but we have matching catcher bruises now, and a 1-1 count as the Cardinals look to add to their 4-2 lead in the bottom of the third inning. Here at Holman. That one is low. Seemingly seeing that well. Did not even think about swinging at it, though it was right over the middle of the plate. And the pitch hammered at the shortstop. Good job of snagging that one. Jason Sulo makes the throw across the diamond and records the first out of this third inning. So Cam Flanders grounds out hard to shortstop. And here's Nate Bowen, who singled and scored, starting that 3-run rally an inning ago. Designated hitter for the Cardinals. Taking the at-bats for Zach Jones, the catcher. Looks at a bender over the outside edge. Good pitch from Josh Martino. Gets ahead of the batter 0-1. And fires that one outside. Science of pitching. A lot of these really good pitchers, D1 level, they get tutoring from specialists sometimes. And also there's a lot of information, good information on YouTube from people that teach the mechanics and strength and conditioning to up the velocity while still maintaining the control. Certainly, thinking back to my high school days, I saw a pitcher like Martino on the mound. It'd be nervous time. I wonder, can I catch up to this guy? The heater. But 3-1, BG's done a pretty good job putting runs on the board. 4 runs on the board. That's a strike on the inside corner. Kind of got to be looking for that on 3-1, but count's gone full to Nate Bowen. What will he see here? That was chin music, and good at bat. Bowen with 1 out is aboard. It's the 3rd walk of the game. First time that Martino's walked somebody besides Ben Geiger, who drew 2 bases on balls so far in this game. Here's Jake Bowen, the 9-hitter, got caught looking at in the second inning for a strikeout. 1, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts for Martino so far. Misses with ball 1. And some signs being flashed down at third base. BG with the 2-run lead can afford to gamble on the bases a little bit. Maybe send a runner fisted toward third. It's going to be an easy out. And it's a good thing they didn't send the runner on that, because that would have been an easy double play. Third to first. So weak pop, 2nd out of the inning. And back to the top of the order, and it's that young man again. It's Liam Ireland in the leadoff spot. A great champion soccer player on top of everything. I mean, what a thrill that game was. BG with 2 1-0 championship game victories. There's the throw to second base, not going to be nearly in time. Great jump for Nate Bowen, and steals second base easily. Gets in scoring position with 2 out for Liam Ireland, who was just everywhere, all over the soccer pitch in that fall championship over Nashua South in that epic 1-0 game. The golden goal for BG coming in overtime. And this guy, even though he didn't score it, was probably the player of the game for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. A tremendous athlete. Probably play soccer at the next level if he wanted to, along with baseball. I don't know if he wants to do both, but it's just excellent. And, you know, one thing that he does really well on the soccer pitch, I mean, like, maybe even the U.S. men's national team well. I've watched a lot of those games, and I don't see anybody that can throw the ball in two-handed as hard and as far and as accurately as Liam Ireland did on those sideline throw-ins. They were like corner kicks, the way he would get the ball to the box with something on it and throw it. You know, if you corner kick it, you can't always kick it perfectly accurately unless you're Lionel Messi, of course, but if you throw it in, you can almost be like a quarterback, and he was really good at it. He got tired as the game went on of those two-handed throws, though. He actually got gas from running and throwing the ball so many times. Every time it went out of bounds, and it was BG's possession against the Panthers. South Panthers soccer is going to be something to watch next fall. They had a lot of young kids on that team who were stars. Throw to third, and it is safe at third. That was a tricky play. A great throw, by the way, from Joe Coviello to make it close. And slapping the tag down for Windham. Jaden Doster just missed the sliding Nate Bowen. So Bowen steals another base, steals third. On the walk to Liam Ireland. Of course, it was not a force with the walk. He was just taken off from second with 2 out and stealing really an unnecessary base. But now that he's there, you can double steal, you can do some things. Aside from just Nick Weiner driving everybody in with 2 outs, Weiner's 2 for 2. Hammers it. Left field, fairly deep, long run is going to get down, and 2 runs are going to score. Just like that, ask and ye shall receive. A loud double to the warning track in left by Nick Weiner. He is 3 for 3. And he came to hit today, 2 singles and a 2-run double. He's got 3 runs batted in the game, does Nick Weiner, who ends up at second base in scoring position, and BG has opened up a big lead. 6-2 here in the third inning. They put up 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and now 2 here in the third. That big hit coming with 2 out. So Gavin Santos, the batter now, reached on a fielder's choice and struck out. Top of the order for Bishop Guertin, 5 for 5 with a walk, 3 runs scored, and 3 batted in. Liam Ireland and Nick Weiner having a game in the first round here at Holman Stadium at the expense of Josh Martino and the Windham Jaguars. Very impressive against what, by all appearances, is an ace pitcher in Martino. And he throws a curve up and misses to Santos. 2 balls and no strikes. And here is where your 3 hitters got to be sitting dead red and try to get that barrel out in front on a heater, because I believe that's what he's going to see from Martino here on 2-0. Hammers it, and he has to duck. He lost his cap, and certainly Santos was ready for that. There will be no play at the plate as Weiner slides in with his second run scored of the game. And what a rocket that was off the bat of Santos. And yes, he was looking for the fastball, and yes, he got it. And fortunately, he did not get any piece of Josh Martino, who had to react with all of the young reflexes that you would need to get out of the way of that dangerous line drive that separated him from his baseball cap. But unfortunately, no contact with the baseball off the bat of Santos. Seemed to go down and in with that pitch, and he just somehow dug it out and lined it through the box. So Martino will come off. He's getting a nice round of applause from the Windham fans in attendance here. Certainly pitched his heart out there, but just wasn't to be today for Josh Martino, as there are 7 runs up on the board for the Cardinals. Santos comes through with 2 out, scoring Nick Weiner. So again, Liam Ireland 2 for 2 with a walk and 3 runs scored. The 2-hitter Nick Weiner 3 for 3 with a double, 2 runs scored, and 3 runs batted in. It doesn't get any more damaging than that for your leadoff hitters. So even though Windham jumped out to a 2-0 lead early and was a very strong start, it's a distant memory now as we go to the bullpen. Windham goes to the bullpen for the relief pitcher. Next up for the Cardinals will be Tyler Parks, who he's 1 for 2, single and a reached on an error. So he's been on base twice and 2 times up. So the top 4 hitters for Bishop Guertin have only really made 2 outs in 11 at-bats. Amazing. So offense galore for the Cardinals. We were certainly starved for runs in the Silver Knights game this morning as they ran into some really good pitching from the New Britain Bees. Tyler Parks to bat for the Cardinals. Inning continues for BG. Cobiello juggles it, catches it. 1-0 is the count. Shadow making its way to the feet of the catcher here in the 3rd inning. That one's yanked to the outside batter's box there. So it's 2 balls and no strikes. Very modest lead as Gavin Santos leads off at first base. It'll be the first fireworks game of the season for the Nashua Silver Knights on Friday night, 6 o'clock start, fireworks to follow. They're playing at Vermont tomorrow, first of 5 trips they'll make to Burlington this season, including their very last regular season game is, I think it's August 8th. It's a Saturday up in Vermont. And I don't know if it's going to be playoff implications. Even with that short lead, great speed, steals the base easily, does Gavin Santos. As Windham kind of forgot about him, the pitcher-catcher there. He didn't look like he was a threat to steal because he was only a step off the base, but he went first move and it's too fast. In scoring position, 3 balls and 2 strikes the count on Tyler Parks. Pitcher checks second base and comes to the plate. There goes the runner. They're not going to get him, but it's strike 3. They don't have to. Parks strikes out, but damage done by the Bishop Guertin Cardinals as they put 3 more up on the board and lead this first round playoff game 7-2. Windham will be coming up to bat in the top of the 4th inning here on NHIAA ETV. Trinity with the bye, the number 1 seed, awaiting the winner of Goffstown versus Winnicott. So you kind of measure yourself against the team of the year so far, the Trinity Pioneers up in Manchester. So what did Bishop Guertin do against them? Well, they certainly battle. They lost by 10-6. Trinity beat BG. They beat Windham, by the way. Trinity beat Windham 11-0. So they're a tough team, and they await the winner of Goffstown Winnicott on Saturday morning. But stranger things have happened, right? The 10 a.m. game on your home turf. Single elimination format. Their upsets do happen. So if there's an upset, say, today in Dover, where Timberlane is playing against the Green Wave, Timberlane's ranked number 13, Dover ranked number 4. If the Timberlane Owls were to come up with the upset there and BG goes on to win this one, the Cardinals would host the Timberlane team on Saturday here at Holman. Otherwise, the winner of this one will play at Dover on Saturday. Nashua South was hoping to get by Londonderry so that they could advance to play the winner of Bedford Spalding. Bedford's a 3 seed. Against today, they're playing Spalding, number 14 team in Bedford. As we move along in the order for the Windham Jaguars. Big swing and a foul off to the right. 0-2 quickly. Ben Geiger continues to pitch effectively for BG. Got into trouble in the first inning, mainly because of 2 bunt singles by the 1 and 3 hitters. Check swing. They say he swung. Oh, that one stings a little bit. I didn't think he went, but first base umpire was emphatic with the strike call, and so Aiden Thieralt, the DH for Windham, as one of the Jaguar fans heckles that first base umpire from distance, reminding him it's a playoff game, so you have to be more alert, as if that will help. Like he doesn't usually, it's okay if you're not alert if it's not a playoff game, is the implication, I guess, which is crazy. Big swing and a foul tip into the mitt by Jason Sulo, the shortstop for the Jaguars. The baseball field, the last time I was at the baseball field up on, I don't know if it's Sky Road, where the Windham School is located. It's pretty high up there. That school that was built not too long ago, probably when these kids were born, though. It's a long time for them, their whole life. But it's a big field, baseball field. There are fences, but I don't know if they're just to keep the wild animals out from the woods that are in the far horizon, because it looks impossible to hit a home run in Exeter. The fences are about 400 feet away all the way around from what I remember. But they still have them. And Jaden Doster's up after Sulo goes down. Second strikeout of the inning for Ben Geiger. I have him with 6 now. 6 strikeouts. Oh, did he get there? They're all would be 7 in the first inning. 1-0. 1-0 is the count on Jaden Doster. He popped up to foul territory. He rips that very high and deep to left. No, not that deep. And it was off the end of the bat, apparently. Jake Bowen was right there. Looked like it might jump over his head, but it may be off the end of the bat of Jaden Dostard. Certainly gave it a decent ride. Beats a strikeout for sure. Not on the scoreboard, but as a hitter, it's progress. 3 up and 3 down in the Windham fourth inning, and to the bottom of the fourth we go, as BG has not had a scoreless inning yet against this Windham pitching staff. Windham had some nice wins in their season record. One of them that stands out was 6-5 over Londonderry in their second last game of the season. Londonderry, who is hosting South today because of their higher seeding. Good team. Excuse me. So to the bottom of the fourth we go, and here's Ben Geiger, the pitcher, hitting for himself, as you'd say. Ben favors the shirt out look, non-tucked in. I do believe there's a rule book thing on that as a pitcher that you have to tuck it in when you pitch, but only if somebody mentions it to the umpire. I don't think the umpire forces you to do that unprompted. It takes one of the opponents to object to the fact that you have your shirt flapping while you pitch, and then they have to tuck it in. The umpire intercedes. I don't think I've ever seen an umpire just walk out to a pitcher and say, you got to tuck that in. I'm going to ask Jeff Kleiner the next time I see him. I always have all these baseball riddles and rule questions that I think of in the course of a game, and if I don't write them down, I'll lose them. So I'm going to write it down right here. Ask Jeff Kleiner, the umpire chief who knows all, if supposed uniform violations are something that the umpires correct unprompted, or does it take a challenge from the opponent. Geiger draws his third walk of the game. He has not had to put a ball in play, and he's been on base every single time with a base on balls. There have been 5 walks issued in the game to BG, and Ben Geiger's got 3 of them. So he's officially 0 for 0. Here's Caden Sirocco, who's gone the other way. Well, Ben Geiger's walked in front of him 3 times. He has struck out swinging and looking. Pitch. And he foul tips that off of the mitt. 0-1. Andy Connarn, C-O-N-N-A-R-N is the pitcher. On in relief for Spencer Bergeron, coach of Windham, trying to find the pitcher that can stop this BG offense from scoring any more runs. Windham still with a chance. They have 3 more at bats at least. Try to make up 5 runs, but any more than that, of course, is going to be that much more difficult. Late on the fastball as he fouls it off to the right. Caden Sirocco down in the count, 1-2. This was the count of the game this morning in the Silver Knights contest, where they struggled to score. Silver Knights batters were 1-2 every time, it seemed like. There's the bare hand throw to first, the one hopper. Urquhart tried to scoop it. Had he done it, it would have been a double play, but it is a fielder's choice that Sirocco reaches, and not the worst thing if you're Ben Geiger to get forced out at second and get into the shade of the dugout for a few more batters anyway to rest up for, I believe he's coming back out to pitch the top of the 5th, the way he's been going. Cam Flanders has struck out and grounded to short. 1 out, Still one on for BG, and the pitch from Conarn, and he misses low. Andy's a junior. Let's see about what year is Josh Martino. He is a senior, so we probably saw his final appearance as a high school pitcher. And hopefully he finds a nice college to pitch for, somebody that appreciates his talents on the hill. I can ask my friend Dave Brown, the Windham assistant coach, about that when I see him or talk to him next. What Josh Martino's plans are. Definitely has an exceptional arm. And not able to find it is Alex Blanco. Now he does. Just hang in there and suddenly it'll appear out of the sky. He was in the right spot, the right area, although he didn't see it at first. Those young eyes finally did lock in on the baseball. So 2 out, back to first base goes Caden Sirocco, and here's Nate Bowen, who has reached twice. Single, run scored, walk, stolen base. Nate Bowen in that 8 spot, making an impact. That's a strike on the outside corner as the Shadows make its way into the batter's box now. Nate Bowen with his brother Jake on deck, batting 8-9 in the BG order. That's in the dirt. Good block by Coviello. He went to catcher's camp for sure. So 1 ball and 1 strike is the count on Nate Bowen. Hammers it, left field base hit. 2 out, single. Puts runners at first and second, and down to the bottom of the order now. Jake Bowen with a chance to keep the train moving. On Andy Conarn, the Windham reliever, who's having a tough time getting that 3rd out here in the 4th inning. BG trying to keep their run scoring per inning streak alive. They got 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and 3 in the third. So they haven't put up a 0 yet. And Jake Bowen trying to keep that streak alive. First and second. Conarn kicks and throws, and big swing and a miss. Ball might have been in the upper outer corner, was probably high. As Conarn pops the mitt. So many seniors they have in this lineup. Joe Coviello, the catcher, is a senior, as is Drew Martinchick, the right fielder. Josh Martino, the starting pitcher, as you know, is a senior. Eddie Charity in left field is a senior. Aiden Thirault, the DH, senior. And also Ben Urquhart, big first baseman, is a senior. Checking on the runner twice, Conarn comes to the plate. Ripped foul down the first base line. Jumping all over that pitch was Jake Bowen. And that would have plated 2 runs, I think, if he snuck it inside the line. 0-2 is the count. Conarn has the sign, and he comes to the set. Strike 3. Great change of speed right there by Conarn to get Andy got the 3rd out of the inning by way of the K, as our friend Don Arcillo often says. And Don Arcillo used to be beloved in Boston on Nesson with Jerry Remy, of course, for many, many years. And he got sacked by the ownership, who thought maybe they could improve the ratings by getting rid of Don Arcillo. And they made him very gone, as he says on his home run calls. Very gone. But boy, did he land in a great place for him in San Diego. It actually couldn't have worked out better for Don Orsillo and his partner, Mud, I think is the guy's nickname. I wish I could remember his full name. But Don Orsillo is made for San Diego. He's kind of zany, I'm sure the San Diego fans love him even more than the Boston fans did, because he's really come into his own as just a personality behind the mic and a great play caller, a tremendous play caller on top of everything, every pitch, ultra professional. Don Orsillo. I did get to meet him after, I think it was after the 2004 World Series win. They gave him a ring, and he was at the New Hampshire Granite State baseball dinner in January, and he let us put it on, some of us that attended that dinner, and it was cool of him. But yeah, he's had a great career, and he didn't deserve to get fired by the Red Sox, but certainly landed on his feet in San Diego, where he is a huge celebrity, actually calling the games for the Padres. So Ben Geiger working on into the fifth inning, the top of. First pitch swinging, a very high fly ball. It's going to be foul by 3 or 4 steps. Loud strike one. For Windham's lead batter, Mason Ridlin, here in the fifth inning. Down 7-2 are the Jaguars. Finally had a scoreless inning against the BG offense. Curveball finds the outside corner from Geiger. Has he walked anybody? I don't think so. No. Pretty good. Meanwhile, he struck out 7. Hammered again, right side. It's going to be foul. Can anybody get there? Nope. A little bit more foul that time. And bounces over the fence. I know I mentioned this in the Silver Knights game, but it bears mentioning again, because this is the education station, NHIAA TV, Education TV. And so I want to give proper recognition to the Nashua High South Granite State Challenge team, state champions. They went all the way and just blew away the competition. Good take there by Ridlin, and the count's gone full. Or is it just 2-2? A lot of foul balls. I guess it's still 2-2. Geiger looks for the out pitch here against the Windham second baseman. Ground ball, gloved on a high hop, as Ben runs it over to first base for out number 1 here in the fifth. So Nashua South beat Plymouth in the final of the Granite State Challenge by a point score of 700 to, I think it was 314. I don't know if that's a record point scores, but they were, the guys on that team, they're so smart for the Panthers. They were answering questions before the host even was able to complete them. Answering some really difficult questions too, I thought. Tom was mentioning that maybe they, have a key to studying up is just watch all the other past Granite State challenges over the years. But congratulations to Nashua South's Henry Long, the captain of that team, senior Henry Long of South. Big swing and a miss by Alex Blanco. Back to the top of the order for the Jaguars. If they're going to do anything as far as a comeback, they need these guys to come through, the 1, 2, 3 hitters. Blanco does have a hit and a run scored, as does Drew Martinchik on deck. Geiger's pitch misses way outside. He hasn't missed by that much almost ever today. Great command on the mound. So Henry Long is the captain of the Nashua South Granite State Challenge champions. Eric Picanco, Thanasi Miris, also a senior. So there was the big three, and sophomore Charles Long with Jerry Primo and Lexi Ross, the team coached by South social studies teacher Lex Duvall and English teacher Kelly Thornhill. Fall back to the screen. Kelly Thornhill Telurski. Congratulations to you all. They had multiple practices a week South's hard work paying off as they not only made it to the final game, but won 700 to 415 Plymouth. It was a very interesting speed round. The category was New Hampshire towns that share the same name with famous locations around the world. One of them was Bethlehem. I think another one was Milan. I wish I could remember more. But the point is, this was the speed round for South. Pitch from Geiger, swung on and missed, strike 3. 2 outs here in the 5th as he gets the top of the order swinging. And they got 9 out of 10 of these well-known locations that share a name with a New Hampshire town. The only question that they missed was what New Hampshire town at the base of Mount Monadnock was also a foe of Sparta, located in Turkey, that share the same name? And the answer was Troy. And that's the only one they didn't get. So I wrote it down because that was the anomaly. They nailed all the other ones. And a lot of times they answered the question before it was even completed. Swung on and missed, strike 2. And Geiger, just so impressive. They put the ace on the mound. You don't take anything for granted against the number 12 seed. Even though you're the 5 seed, you got to get the first one to get to the second one, and they put Geiger out here, and he's doing the job in a big way. 1-2 is the count on Drew Martinchick. He's singled, scored, and struck out. This is only his 3rd time up, 3rd time through the order for Windham. Hard hit ground ball, but right at the second baseman, Tyler Parks, and he makes the play. Over to Nick Weiner for out number 3. 3 up and 3 down in the Jaguars' 5th inning as we go to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching playoff baseball on NHIAA ETV.
You're watching NHIAA ETV, your home for exciting local sports action. Whether you're at home or away, don't miss a moment of the big game. Check out our updated app, now also available for iPhone and Android. Just search for NHIAA Community Media TV in your favorite app store. Follow your favorite local teams on NHIAA ETV, bringing you closer to the action than ever before.
You don't want to miss a Liam Ireland at bat, that's for sure. And here he is again at the top of the order. He's been up 3 times, and it's been nothing but offensive damage by the Bishop Guertin center fielder. 3 runs scored, all 3 times. He hammers that to center field. Connor did a good job of getting out of the way of it, but Liam Ireland, unstoppable as he was in the soccer tournament, I think. He's just on a mission. I was going to say 4 for 4. He's been on base all 4 times. 3 for 3 with a walk and 3 runs scored. And will it be 4? Nick Weiner has, if it's possible, outdone Liam Ireland in a way. He is 3 for 3, 2 singles, a double, and 3 runs batted in with 2 runs scored. Nick Weiner, the 2-hitter, looking for a pitch he can drive against the relief pitcher for the Jaguars. Andy Conarn. We put a 0 up last inning. First scoreless inning for the Cardinals in the game. Thinking better about pulling the trigger on that was Weiner, but it did snip that outer corner on him. Kind of looked like a cut fastball, maybe a slider from Conarn, whose quick pitches. That's a tribute to Nick Weiner's reflexes to get out of the way of that somehow. It looked like it was definitely going to hit him on the front leg or hip. 3 balls and 1 strike. Dancing off of first is Ireland. That misses outside and low, and it's a walk. So the top 2 batters in the BG order, you cannot get them out.
Now batting, number 22, Gavin Santos.
They are each one of them has a walk, so they're 3 for 3 with a walk each. On base 8 for 8, the 1-2 hitters. And Santos not too shabby either, with a 2-run single his last time up. And a run scored. Looks at a high fastball, 1-0. BG trying to tack on some runs with this top of the order. I don't know if they're going to run into an ace on Saturday if they continue to hold on to this lead, but you kind of have confidence that at this point they may be able to hit anybody. Nice knockdown over at third base, and Dustin makes the throw late. Santos actually beats that out. It's an infield hit. Got away from the Windham third baseman just enough that Dostin couldn't get to it in time to make. Doster did do a great job of knocking that down. It was a bullet off the bat of Santos, who's got 2 hits now. And here we go, Tyler Parks. Reached on an error by the second baseman, singled and struck out. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to the BG second baseman. Bases are loaded and nobody out. And just like you draw it up, the cleanup hitter is in the box. The pitch. That's a bouncer that Coviello handles nicely. Wonder if Joe Coviello is going to play catcher at the college level. He certainly has the tools defensively. Good arm behind the dish and excellent technique in blocking these difficult bouncers. Would be wild pitches. Doster kind of lost the handle. They got to give him the call at first. Safe. And it's a error by the third baseman. Have to give it there. And another run for the Cardinals. They're up 8-2. Ground ball to the left. And he kind of short-armed it. Doster was in position to make a play somewhere and just pulled the glove up too early. So it was a close play at first, but hustling all the way out of the box, Tyler Parks beats it out. Funny thing is, the baseball statisticians, that's a foul ball just barely, as it sliced at the last moment to the right of the bag, as Ben Geiger was actually looking like he didn't want to walk this time. He's walked all 3 times up in this game. Officially 0 for 0. But the statisticians in baseball, when you reach on an error like that, and you have to be fast to beat that out. He would have been out if he wasn't fast. That's Tyler Parks I'm talking about. Golf to right. This is going to be in play. Chance to tag up and score as Drew Martinchik makes the catch for the first out of the inning. And scoring, tagging up and scoring from third base was Liam Ireland. And guess what? Liam Ireland has scored all 4 times he's been up in this game. 3 for 3 with a walk and 4 runs scored. Is that getting it done in the leadoff spot or what? And so with 1 out, runners at the corners as Nick Weiner tagged up and went to third on that sac fly by Ben Geiger. So the funny thing is about Ben Geiger's line, his batting line in this game, he's been up to the plate 4 times and he's officially 0 for 0. Hammered left field deep. Nobody's going to get this one. And circling first, heading for second is Caden Sirocco. 1 run is in. They're going to wave the trail runner also, and it's a 2-run double. Caden Sirocco has made this a 9-run lead for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. They're up 11-2. That was well struck by Caden Sirocco, and he plates Tyler Parks and Gavin Santos. Ahead of that double, and the pitching change being made by the Windham Jaguars, Coach Spencer Bergeron. Wow, BG is just pouring it on offensively against this Windham staff now on a sun-drenched Wednesday evening as we play on into the bottom of the fifth inning further with only one out still. And a runner at second base, and that will be Caden Sirocco after that loud double to deep left center. But yeah, Ben Geiger is officially 0 for 0. He's been up to the plate 4 times. He's got 3 walks and a sacrifice fly. Funnily enough, and what was it talking about? Oh, on base percentage. So speedy runners like Tyler Parks, he reached on an error by the second baseman in the first inning. He reached by an error by the third baseman in the 5th inning. He was just barely safe. You know, they tried to recover and they couldn't. And putting pressure on the defense because of how fast he gets down the line. Now, the statisticians look at that and they say, oh, you reached an error, that doesn't count for your on-base percentage. But where did I end up? You know, you put pressure on the defense, you put the ball in play, it didn't strike out. Used your speed to beat it out, even though it's got to be called an error. And I'm not on base. It's not an on-base percentage way to add to that percentage, and that's the way they do it. They don't consider that an on-base percentage play. But it is, and I'll guarantee you those faster guys get on base by errors more often than the slower guys, where fielders oftentimes recover and then gun them out. So that's just my 2 cents about a mistake in official scoring. Another pet peeve, career home runs. They don't count, like when they say, you know, Hank Aaron had 714 career home runs. I believe he hit a few home runs in the playoffs, and they don't count them because they weren't in the regular season. And so you hit home runs sometimes in garbage games that maybe your team is out of the playoff race or it's 11-1 and you hit another home run and it goes into your career total. Then you get into a playoff game and everybody's putting their best pitchers on the hill, and they're the best pitchers in the league because they're in the playoffs. You're deep. Maybe you're in the World Series. Maybe you're Big Papi in the World Series or the League Championship Series, hitting the grand slam that causes Torrey Hunter to go upside down. They don't count that home run in his career totals. They separate them. They say, this is how many career home runs he has. And, oh, by the way, he hit this many in the playoffs. Put them together. You know, sometimes these great players, they earn their way into the playoffs. Look at Ohtani now with the Dodgers. So I just think it's crazy not to count them all. And I know in the NFL they do that. I mean, Tom Brady's got X number of touchdown passes, and I believe they just lump them all together, playoffs included. Could be wrong, but yeah, I mean, a playoff home run counts to me a lot more than a regular season home run. And they just treat it like it's, I don't know, not that significant. So, Cam Flanders to the plate after the pitching change. There's a lefty on the mound now for the Jaguars. Lefty versus lefty action. Fires a strike over the outside edge. Flanders has struck out twice and grounded to short, looking for his first hit of the game. And the 0-1. There goes the runner. He's going to steal it without a throw. Big jump. I don't know if there's a mercy rule with 10-run lead, even in a playoff game, but BG's certainly flirting with that now as they have the potential run number 12, 90 feet away. With one out, the infield comes in. And maybe this is a walk-off situation. High fly to center. They tag up. This is going to get a run home, and it's going to be a 12-2 lead. And is this it? This is a walk-off. BG with a 10-run mercy rule ends the ball game mercifully as they were just pounding the Windham pitching. And they end up mercy ruling the number 12 seed Windham Jaguars, who jumped out to an early lead. Looked like they were going to make a really close game of it. But then Bishop Guertin, led by the top of the order, Liam Ireland, 3 for 3 with a walk and 4 runs scored. And Nick Weiner, who was 3 for 3 with a walk and 3 runs batted in. Just too much for the Jaguars this evening. So what a great start to the playoffs for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals, as they'll be taking on the winner of Timberlane versus Dover, hoping for a Timberlane upset that would give them another home game here at friendly Holman Stadium. But BG's offense, thank you for making up for the lack of hits this morning. You know, it was very exciting if you like great hitting. I mean, Liam Ireland was and Nick Weiner putting on a show, as was Gavin Santos later on in the contest. The top 3 batters in the order were just tremendous, and Ben Geiger showing why he is the ace of the Bishop Guertin pitching staff. So I want to thank Dylan Smith, Michaela Savageau, great job on camera, and Dan Young with a long day back in the studio, long day of baseball and listening to me, who did a great job on replays and everything else. And we'll say hurry back Pete Johnson, the mastermind of NHIAA TV, as we'll talk to him next week. For my partner, Tom King, even though he's not here and he's watching tennis, shame on you. We'll see you down the road for the Silver Knights and hopefully more playoff baseball. I'm John Collins signing off from Holman Stadium. Thank you for watching NHIAA TV.